I read 10 books in the past 2 months, and let's talk about 7, or we are going to talk about 7 of those 10 books. Oh my goodness. As you can tell, your girl was obsessed with reading these past 2 months. I have renewed my love for reading, and so I'm going to do a whole separate video on the Fourth Wing series, which accounts for the 3 missing books, and so you can watch that somewhere up there soon. But let's talk about these 7 books, and it includes this new release right here. Okay, so the first book, or the last book, the furthest away book, I guess, that I read was If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. And so I actually bought this book a whole year ago, and I started it and I just couldn't get into it, right? Just for reference, I rated this book 3.5 stars. So I just couldn't get into this book, and I just was so hard to get into, but I was like, okay, I really want to pick it up, really want to finish it. And so I finally did, and oh my goodness, was this a roller coaster. So this book is like dark academia kind of vibes. Basically, right at the beginning, Oliver has served 10 years for a murder that he may or may have not committed, and on his release date, the detective meets him there because the detective has questions, and he's like, I don't know if you really did it, and then Oliver agrees to tell him exactly what happened. And so this book takes you through that, but this book is set at a Shakespeare college, and so if you like Shakespeare, sorry, I need to calm down. You will love this book. I am not the biggest Shakespeare fan, and so it was okay. I still got through it. And the book really picks up at about 40%, and it just starts popping off murder mystery, dark academia vibes. So yeah, that's why I kind of gave it 3.5 stars. It was okay. The ending, I was kind of like, what the heck? But it was a good read, and yeah, that's all I can really say about it. Haven't really thought about it since then. I picked up, I can't remember the order of these, but anyway, I'll start with these 2 because they're in a series. So I have heard so much about this series, and this is one of my most anticipated series. Is that a word even? And I've been wanting to pick this up, sorry about that reflection, for absolute ages, and I finally did it. And oh my goodness, I love this series. I'm so excited to continue it. It's just that the books are a little bit expensive, but I'm so excited to continue it. So it's set in, I think it's small town Montana, in this town called Indigo Ridge, I think that's what the town is called. Anyway, but it's in Quincy, Montana. That's where it's set. And basically in book 1, it follows the Edens, who are this powerful family in the town. Book 1 is with the oldest brother, and then with Winslow, who is their new chief of police. Book 2 is with Knox, and then Memphis, who moves into the town, and she has a small child. And so this one is single mom trope, forced proximity. This one is 2 oldest children, also for forced proximity. This is I didn't really know who you were, and so if I had known, I wouldn't have done those actions kind of vibe. And so yeah, I love these. This is a 4-star series for me. There is some spice, and so it's not a clean read. These are a couple of the spice pages that you have to skip. Sorry, you couldn't see that, but you're gonna have to skip some spice. And this one does start off with a one night stand kind of vibe, and very instant attraction, not insta love, but instant attraction. And so yeah, but I really love these books. It has a mystery element in both of the books, especially this one. It's very cozy, small town. You get to follow the Edens, you get attached to the Edens, and so I'm so excited. There are 4 other main books, and then I think 1 or 2 novellas, and so I'm so excited. I'm literally gonna pick the next book up next month, maybe even the next 2. And so yeah, 4-star series. Love this world. Then okay, so this one, I love Taylor Jenkins Reid. I should actually do a whole TJR video because I love her. My first book by her was 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which I actually DNF'd because I was listening to the audiobook, and then I listened to Daisy Jones, and it was pretty good. Oh, okay. And so what kind of sparked my TJR love is my, what do you call it? I'm so all over the place, but basically me going back back to her is so after Daisy Jones, I listened to that. It was like fairly good, and then I got One True Loves, which was pretty good, and I loved the movie. And then I read Carrie Soto about 1.5 2 years ago, and I love that. It's one of my 5-star like books by her. I loved Carrie Soto, and so I saw the audiobook for Maybe in Another Life. And I was like, okay, why don't I listen to it? I hardly listen to audiobooks, but I was like, why not? And I absolutely loved it. It's like it's basically a girl, her name is Hannah, and she's at 29, she has no career, she has no home, no idea what she wants to do with her life, and it's kind of like a split timeline, or like a, I guess, alternating timeline. And so in one world, she goes home with her friend after a party, and then in another world, she goes home with this guy after a party. And the way this just felt so relatable. I was in a space where I was like, oh my goodness, what if I make this decision? How will it impact my life? And what was so cool to me is how it's the same characters in both timelines. It's kind of the same events except for a few major ones, and kind of like her life ends up exactly as it was supposed to be based on either choice. And so actually whichever choice she made was okay because she grew along the way, and she kind of met the exact people she was supposed to meet. So she matches me, and so that was so helpful. I think as someone who's like in her 20s, especially when it comes to love, dating, stuff like that, where it's like, oh, I'm not sure, am I making the right choice, all of this. And it just felt so reassuring in this book to be like, oh, it's okay, you know, you're gonna be okay. And so this is a 5-star read for me, as well as Malibu Rising 5-star. So I was on a TJR kick, and I also watched the Daisy Jones and the 6 series, and oh my gosh, it was such a cinematic masterpiece. Like that book, I actually want to go back and get and like reread Daisy Jones properly, and even Seven Husbands, because the Daisy Jones, so I listened to this, loved it. I loved it so much that I had to immediately get the book. And then I remembered, wait, there's a Daisy Jones series. And so I watched that, and that was an absolute cinematic masterpiece. You need to go watch it. And I think I'm having a segue, but I think when it comes to series, what is so interesting is how with some series, like some series, you don't agree with what the characters are doing, but you appreciate that the series itself is a cinematic masterpiece. I feel that way about very few series, including Daisy Jones, including NCIS Origins. Oh, those are like my I won't say God tier because I believe in God and nothing equates to him, but those are like 6-star series for me. So I watched Daisy Jones, absolutely loved it, and so I was on a TJR kick, and then I was like, I might as well get Malibu Rising, and so I got this secondhand, off Yaga, and I just, oh my goodness. Once again, a 5-star series for me. This is one of my most anticipated reads for the year, and I loved it so much. This follows basically the Reaver siblings, whose dad is like this famous rock star, but then it takes you through just the siblings. And I really I related to Nina Reaver so much, and basically the book is set in like one day, but then it goes through different like timelines and past things that happened. And basically, you know that at the end of the book, Nina Reaver's place bursts into flames, like her house burns down, but you don't know what it took to get there and to get to that point. And just reading through this book was so, oh my goodness, it was beautiful. As an oldest daughter who had to like grow up a lot and who had to, I was kind of forced into being an adult pretty early and just had to like figure things out. I related to this so much. So not only did I relate to Maybe in Another Life, I related to Malibu Rising so much, just because oldest daughters and maybe sons will really relate to this, like if you were really like almost parentified and just had to grow up whether it was in your control or not. And so I loved this book. Absolute 5-star series. I have so many thoughts about this. And so so already it was a really good okay, we're back. Already it was a really good reading month because I had, reading 2 months, because I had 2 5-star series and a 4-star series as well, and I'm loving all these books. And so then I got into the Fourth Wing series, and I'll do a video all about that, but that is a 5-star series for me, my new hyperfixation. Absolutely freaking obsessed. And so I had like 5 5-star reads. How crazy. That is insane in 2 months. And then I got the newly released Great Big Beautiful Life. This cover, I love this cover so much. Like, it is so beautiful. It is so artsy. And I'm excited to add it to my collection because I've got I've got all of Emily Henry's romance like backlist, and so I'm so excited to add this to Funny Story and Happy Place on my bigger books by her. And then I've got Book Lovers, Yumi on Vacation, and what's the other one, anyway, the other book one I actually really like, also on that. So yeah, you should also, I did a whole like video on Emily Henry, so you should check this out. Obviously that video was before this new release, but anyway, so this book was so good. So actually I got this book, I think it was a couple of days after release date, but I got it because I knew after reading the Fourth Wing series, which is like a 5-star series for me, I was gonna have a major book hangover. Like, I just knew. And so the whole reason I read this straight after Fourth Wing was that I didn't want to get into a book slump, because Fourth Wing was just so insanely good. Check out my Fourth Wing video because I just loved that series so much. So I read this immediately after, and so I think that affected my reading of this because I don't remember a ton about this, but I had also heard so many like good things but also bad things about this book, and I for one loved this. I know some people didn't like the literary fiction side, but I really actually loved the lit fic side, and hearing more about what was her name, about Margaret's story. And so basically in this book you have your main, you see, I can't even remember their names. You have Alice, and she's basically like writing this famous lady Margaret's story, but before she can do that, she basically, her and another writer Hayden, have to do like this trial run where they are both like trying to get the deal to write this lady's book at the same time. And and obviously along the way they fall in love, but then it alternates between Alice and Hayden and then Margaret's story, and I really enjoy that format. Like, I loved it so much. This book just was so easy to read. Once again, there is a bit of spice that you'll have to skip, as with all Emily Henry books, but it was just so easy to read and I really loved it. And so I think I rated it 3.75, 4 stars, somewhere there. But I'm excited to reread it because I know on the reread it's going to be even better. Just the biggest thing is that obviously I rated straight after an insane 5-star series that like hooked me in, and so it was more like a don't get into a book slump book, but I'm excited to reread her. And so yeah, really good. And then the last book I read, literally like the last 2 or 3 days of May, was Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. And so this book was so jarring to me because, so I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. But it was so weird. It was such a juxtaposition because I really struggled with the fact that the book is in first person and that it is dialogue heavy. I was trying to figure out like, why am I struggling to read this so much? It's because it's first person and it's dialogue heavy, which is so hectic, and I like don't really enjoy that. Whereas, you know, like Emily Henry is more I don't know, just the complete opposite of this. And also I think the thing that's hard is that this didn't feel like a full story being told. It felt like we only got glimmers and moments with the characters, and then that told the story, as opposed to getting a full timeline of like the book and the characters. And so basically this is about Alex Montgomery, who literally, like, she is a doctor. She's part from like a very like well-off family. They are the, I guess, Rockefellers of medicine. And basically, yeah, she ends up breaking down in this town. Once again, this is another like one night stand kind of like turn. She didn't intend it to be more. In fact, she didn't intend it to be that. But yeah, meets this guy. But the biggest thing is that the guy is 10 years younger and he's just completely opposite to her. And there's no one who's societally like, no one in her circle will really accept her except for her best friend, except him. And so basically the whole book is the struggle of, I love him so much, but like no one will accept him and he doesn't fit into my world. And you know, it was just interesting, and I really like, it was okay. I just struggled with that, where I was like, you guys are perfect for each other, like just get over it and get together. But then something big happened in her previous relationship. And when you start to think then of the books, okay, spoiler warning. But yeah, her previous partner was abusive towards her. And so then when I started to read the book in light of that, where it's like, okay, well, of course it would be such a big struggle for her because her previous partner and actually other people around her have been abusive towards her. And so then that's why it makes it so difficult. And so I think when you read this, you have to really put yourself in that frame of mind, because I was like, it's so simple. You found the man of your dreams, like just like, you know, like stuff it, go after him. But then it makes sense because she's never been able to do that. And just like, you know, it was just so tough for her. And so yeah, when you start to think of the story through that lens, then that makes more sense, and it makes it more like you start to understand her actions a bit more, because also she doesn't tell him stuff and you're like, what, how are you guys building this amazing relationship when you don't even know the man? But anyway, it starts to make sense. And so yeah, it was okay read. I think it's honestly like a 3.5, 3.75. It's funny because there were parts of the book that I really did not like, but then there were parts that I really loved, and the story gripped me, especially the ending. And I have heard that the series gets better, and so I'm really excited to pick up the next book, which is Yours Truly, and then the last one, which is Just for the Summer, like in the series, just because I know it gets better, and just because like I actually enjoyed it. I just didn't really love my main character. And so yeah, those are the seven out of 10 books that I read. We have two 5-star reads in here, which is crazy, plus the other 5-star series from Fourth Wing. 4-star series, 3.5. Yeah, 5-star, this one was like 3.5 ish. And so yeah, those were the books, and I'm actually going to end this video by showing you what I'm currently reading, because once again, on a TJR kick. And so I'm reading this, I'm about 105 pages, and I am loving this so much. I think it's going to be another like 5-star read. And then some other books that I'm reading. So if you don't know, I am such a mood reader, and so I will pick up a book. If I'm in the mood, then I'll continue. If not, then I'll just like leave it. So this is what I'm really in the mood for. On my TBR, I also really want to read Where the Crawdads Sing this month. I finally got the book, but I want to read it because I also want to watch the movie. And then another book that I'd started, I'm like, you can see I'm like this far in, that I loved is Starless Sea. It's just very magical, and it just like it takes long to get through, but I'm excited to continue these. So especially these two this month. Also, how beautiful is this? And then another book that I wanted to just finally read, but I might actually DNF this, is Babel by R.F. Kuang. This book is this is how far in I am, and it is such a schlep to read. Like, I'm really struggling. So then I'm going to try again maybe next week, or like once I get through all the books that I really want to read. I'm also about to get Atmosphere by TJR. It's actually the 3rd of June today. So happy release day, TJR. Once again, I told you I'm on my TJR kick. And so I think after I read that, then I'll come back to Babel. If I can't really get into it, then I will just listen to the audiobook, otherwise DNF it. Yeah, because she's a chunker. And then another book that I was reading that I also like, it was good, I just wasn't in the headspace for it, was Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. And so I'm actually like almost halfway. I was like losing it, and like it wasn't gripping me enough. And I think you really have to be in like a cozy fantasy like kind of vibe. And also now that we're in winter, I love the cozy books. Also, look at this cover, like look at that like shiny, I love it so much. And so yeah, those are the books that I read, and that is my current TBR for the next month. And then other books that I'm really looking forward to reading is then obviously the next 2 books in this series. I Want to Get Forever Interrupted and Daisy Jones by TJR, and then obviously the next 2 in the Indigo Ridge series. And so yeah, that is kind of my TBR. And so friend, oh my goodness, what a long video. I could sit and talk about books all day long. I'm actually gonna film, okay, maybe not today, I'm kind of tired, but I'm gonna film the Fourth Wing series because I have a lot of thoughts and I really want to like compile it beautifully and then do like my thoughts and then a spoiler section and just go in depth. So watch out for that video. But if you're thinking, should I read Fourth Wing, shouldn't I? Read it. I loved it so much. And then yeah, I hope you enjoyed this book series. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and then I will check you next time. Alrighty, bye friend.